first recipe is overnight oats, which is personally my favorite. You do 70 grams of oats, or however much you prefer. I prefer a little bit more. You do 1 tablespoon of PB Fit and 1 tablespoon of cacao powder, and you mix it all around until every oat is covered. Add some coconut milk or almond milk, and then you do some agave syrup or honey, usually around a tablespoon, but if you want it more sweet you can add a little more. Then you refrigerate it overnight, or if you want to eat it quite quickly, then around 3 hours will do. Afterwards you can assemble it and decorate it with whatever you want. I love to use the Lindor's protein yogurts. They are my favorite thing in the world, and I usually use blueberries, though I found that kiwis also complement it well. The second recipe is protein oats. The difference with this one is these are warm. I use about a cup of oats, 1 tablespoon of PB Fit, 1 tablespoon of cacao powder, and it's a very similar process. With this one, you actually heat it on the pan. Again, coconut milk or almond milk. You can use normal milk, but I found that coconut milk goes really well. 1 tablespoon of agave or honey again. And with this one, I used some vegan chocolate protein powder with water and shook it until it was all blended together, which I will put on top of the oats instead of putting the powder straight into the oats, as that prevents it from having that grainy protein powder texture. The third recipe is really simple. It's my egg breakfast. I use egg whites in this. This is the key for the protein. I use from 100 to 200 grams of protein and add 2 eggs. You want to fry the eggs on the pan. You can make an omelette out of this, but I personally prefer scrambled eggs, so I stick to scrambled. Spice the eggs however you like. I like mine spicy. I use some Parmesan cheese as well. And then I grilled some vegan sausages, though you can use chicken sausages or any other sausage you want, but I recommend the vegan sausages. Now the fourth recipe is tomato gnocchi. You want to cut up 1 onion, around a medium onion. Don't judge how I cut this onion, I'm terrible at cutting onions. I used about 8 tomatoes here, but this recipe does serve about 3 people. I use quite a lot of garlic. I use around 5 to 6 cloves in this recipe. I just think garlic is so key. You want to fry your onion until it becomes golden and then add your garlic. I used about 2 to 3 minced garlics and then 2 to 3 whole ones. You want to make sure you keep stirring it around so nothing burns, and then you want to add some chicken broth. If you're vegetarian, just do vegetable broth. Add your garlic, salt everything, and then just let it boil for 30 minutes to an hour, though you could do more. This is optional, but I add some minced turkey into this recipe just for the protein, though this is completely optional and probably unnecessary, but it really kicks the protein. You want to fry your gnocchi. I use spinach gnocchi, though it tastes exactly the same as normal gnocchi. It just looks green. And then you want to assemble everything together. I also add mozzarella because that has a lot of protein. The fifth and final recipe is pesto pasta. I'm making my own sauce in this one, so all you need is basil, olive oil, Parmesan cheese, garlic cloves, and some salt. If you don't want to do that, you can use this one. Put in your basil and everything in the blender and blend it until it's about like pasty thick. It doesn't matter if it's a little chunky. What makes this recipe so protein packed is the chicken obviously, but also the pasta that I use. I use chickpea pasta, which really adds a protein kick into this recipe. When it comes to chicken, you can flavor it how you want. I use salt, onion powder, paprika, chili flakes, some black pepper, and some olive oil. I actually add some spinach into this just for a green kick, but that's optional and up to you. And some pine nuts, of course. You want to mix it all around, assemble it. I actually put some tomatoes into this just because I like the coldness. But voila, there you have it, all 5 recipes.